kitbashing. It's the idea where you take a bunch of different minis and you cut them up and glue them together and use extra little things to create your own special custom miniature that you could then use in, all different kinds of skirmish war games, and Warhammer 40K is especially popular in that. But I had a weird idea. So what if kitbashing didn't involve glue or plastic? What if it involved Photoshop and the cursed chaos of a Google image search? You see, I don't have enough money for mini. I've never invested in minis before. I only have a couple little ones that fans of the show have sent me before, and I don't want to ruin those necessarily. I decided maybe I could do it my own way, especially because recently I've been really getting into skirmish war games and kit bashing. I mean, shout out to Bill making stuff. That guy is a gall darn genius when it comes to making really cool stuff out of nothing. So I'm prepping for an upcoming Forbidden Psalms game. I decided to build my Warband, whatever I could find on the first page of the Google image results, kind of as a little bit of a challenge. I first thought that this was going to be a complete joke, right? And you'll see that through my Photoshops. But after a little bit of time, I realized that I kind of loved it. I think it's perfect for Forbidden Psalms, and I'm super, super excited to do some more Forbidden Psalms series right here on the channel using these creations that I've made. Make sure to hit the little like button and subscribe here on the channel, or check the playlist down below so I can continue doing weird stuff like this. Thank you so much. So before I get to the Photoshop part that I did, I want to let you know that I used roll charts to roll up everything. I rolled up their stats, their traits, their gear, even their little physical details. Then I rolled up each character one by one and I Frankensteined them into existence. And I did all of this on a live stream over on our Twitch channel. Make sure to check the link down in the old description and join us over there. But I think without any further ado and YouTube jibber jabber, you guys, let's jump into the other guy to tell you how it went. So first up is Hamilton the lady. I rolled for her head, got makeshift helm. For the eyes, I got rag covered. Her clothing came up as bones, and chat loved that. The unique detail here was bloated stomach. It's just the kind of cursed energy that this game loves. And for her weapon, I rolled bow. Her flaw is realist, and her feat is rat catcher, which paints a very specific picture of this lady kind of sulking around in the sewers, brutally grounded in reality, and somehow also armed with a bow. So now we're moving on to Photoshop. I started with that makeshift helm, immediately thought pan. I googled pan, found this rustic looking pot, but later swapped it out for a metal one because it fits the vibe better. For rag-covered eyes, my brain went straight to Star Wars, The Old Republic. I remembered that Jedi Sentinels wore like cloth around their heads, so I searched for a female Jedi and found a great base, and dropped the pan helmet right over it like a budget cosplay. And as you can see, I found this really cool dress for Bones armor, but it really wasn't landing. Someone in chat mentioned a Critical Role character. I've never seen the show, but I found something that clicked way better, so I used that instead, and it already had a bow, so score. Also, as you can see, I thought rat catcher, she has to have a bag of rats, right? So I removed the arrow and gave her a nice bag. Now it comes time to the bloated stomach, and this was a total nightmare. I tried liquefy, warp, nudging, stretching, and it always kind of looked off. I really should have just layered in a zombie stomach image instead, but by the time I realized that, I was already kind of way in too deep, to even care, and I was kind of out of time. So this is basically Hamilton the lady, part Jedi, part sewer dweller, and all weird. And we're also going to talk about stats, probably once we start playing, but I did assign their stats during the live stream. Again, if you want to come join in for that, make sure to come join. Next up is Skin the Tired. Here's what I rolled. They have a hood, a scar over their eye, a long beard, medium armor. The unique trait is books. They got a bastard sword, they're scared of heights, and they have a lucky goblin's foot. So an armored bookworm with a beard and a goblin foot for luck. Classic Forbidden Psalms nonsense. The Photoshop process started with the beard, found a realistic brown one. It was great. Then for the hood, my brain, for some reason, jumped straight right back to Star Wars. I thought Jawa. And the moment I dropped a Jawa with a big bushy beard into Photoshop, I laughed for like 10 minutes straight on stream. It looked ridiculous and I loved it. Only problem is that the Jawa was holding a gun, and we can't have that, so of course Clone Stamp Tool to the rescue, scrubbed it out and gave him a bastard sword instead. That was pretty cool. For the medium armor, I found this cool leather chest piece, and funny enough, I actually used to own this piece for a cosplay years ago, full circle. Then I added a scar across the eye, which was a quick little detail. I rolled the lucky goblin feet, so I hunted down a chain-wrapped foot, colored it green, and tossed it on like a cursed charm. Of course, the idea of the books kind of stumped me a bit. I couldn't find a natural way to work them into the design visually, so that's getting saved for backstory lore. Maybe he whispers to them, maybe they whisper back, I don't know. And then I patched up the other arm, and that's it. That's Skin the Tired. Part Jawa, part librarian, accidental badass. Next up is Mastiff the Guilty, and here's what the dice gave me. He's bald, missing an eye, got a lip scar, he's got light armor, he's scarred, he's got a hand axe, he's a loner, and his feet is vaccinated, so he's emotionally unavailable, but at least he's up to date on his shots, so that's growth. In the Photoshop process, the character came together quick, mostly because the cat jumped up on the table midstream instead of rolling the dice for me. Again, come hang out on stream if you want to see that chaos live. But anyway, for the bald head, I mean, yeah, Vin Diesel pulled a solid image, used it as a base, added a quick eye patch and a lip scar, both of which went on super smooth. And for the armor and all the scars, I remembered how gnarly the arms look in Skyrim, veiny, beat up, and lived in. I found a model, ripped it from the game, shaped it on, it was perfect, no cleanup needed. Dropped in a hand axe, weathered the layers a little bit, and boom, Mastiff was done. But look at this super cool hand axe. It's from Griffin's Saddlebag, so check that out. Scarred, suspicious, and somehow still responsible enough to be vaccinated, yes. So on day 2, I rolled to the last 2 characters at the same time to save time and leave room for backstory building later on stream. So first up, we rolled up Azul the Blue. Here's what the dice gave me. He's got short hair, missing eye, long beard, rags, his clothes. He's got an extra weapon, so he's got 2 flails. His flaw is putrid smell, and his feet is through gritted teeth. So we've got a grimy blue hooded warrior wrapped in rags, missing an eye, swinging 2 flails, and smelling like absolute death. Perfect. Next is Jarek the Devil, and here's what I rolled. They have a mask on their head, an eye patch, a pointy goatee, robes. Their unique trait is strange head. They have a morning star, and their feats and flaws are slow learner and shield bash. So the Photoshop process, I started with Azul the Blue. Starting with him, the rags instantly made me think of Mummy. Found a solid Mummy base and used it for the body. For the beard and eyes, someone in chat mentioned Gale from Dark Souls, so I grabbed a good shot of him, ripped his head, and dropped it on the Mummy. Then to match his name, I swapped the red head, the red hood to blue. Azul the Blue needed to stay on brand, you know. He's got 2 flails, so I searched around until I found a really cool solid one. Then I put both flails in one hand because, I mean, why not? It looked ridiculous, which means it looked right. And since he smells terrible, I added some old-fashioned clip art flies buzzing around his head. Subtle, effective, also made me laugh. The last one is Jarek the Devil, which right away gave me Futurama vibes, so I pulled the robot devil as a reference for the mask. And for the robes, I went straight to Bloodborne, found some dramatic, tattered outfit that screamed, don't trust this person. The shield came from Skyrim, looked solid, and of course I grabbed a morning star to keep it grounded. And then came the strange head after I cleaned everything up and put it all together. And someone in chat mentioned the Queen of Hearts in the live-action Alice in Wonderland, and I thought that was perfect, so it had the exact cursed energy we were looking for, so I Frankensteined that in, cleaned it up, and put the mask on the face, and called it done. And all this together is our whole crew. So after that, we actually spent some time on stream building out their backstories and talking about them a little bit, which kind of helped all this madness come together. Again, if you want to see all this stuff happen live, make sure to come to the dang old live streams. Follow us on Twitch, links down in the description. But back to the other guy to tell you more about what's going to happen next. So that's the squad of 5. Forbidden Psalms wants you to create a squad of 5 to be able to use, and I think that's what we did today. And we definitely got a good mix of different kinds of characters that hopefully will allow us to play Forbidden Psalms digitally using tokens and maps and other kinds of fun stuff. And if you want to see me do that with these characters, make sure to subscribe and leave a like on this video, so when that video does go live in the next week or so, you will not miss it. I'm really excited to get into Forbidden Psalms, and I think it's going to be a fun dang time, especially because of how much I love Mörk Borg. And I'm so interested in kitbashing, in skirmish war games, and stuff like that recently. So if you want to see me do some more stuff like that, let me know down in the comments below. But out of these 5 characters, who is your favorite? And who do you hope survives on our adventures? Let me know down below. Also, is there any changes you think I should have made? Any extra things I should have done? You got any criticisms for me? I love creative feedback, so let me know down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video. Honestly, thank you for being here. Check out all the links in the description, and my friends, I appreciate you so much. I really do. Why don't you take a seat on the couch and roll initiative, at least for a little while? Roll on that, weirdos. I'll see you next time.